try to look nice.
Yeah.
Just try to look nice.
I bet there's some cringy ones where you look at it and you're just like, ugh, some trends.
There's some, but I feel like it's all part of an evolution. Like if
Yeah.
I were to go and look at some things, but I'm definitely, for me, I think where I have the most fun getting dressed up is probably like evening, like a gala or a cocktail party, a wedding. Getting dressed up at night for events, like evening gowns, party dresses, fun shoes, sparkly bags. I think that's the time you can be sort of ridiculous and silly and overly feminine I find it easier to express my mood. During the day, I'm like just trying to get through the day. Right. I'm just trying to look nice, trying to make it. But at night, I feel like sometimes that will set the vibe.
What did your transition look like from Vogue to what you do now? Because it seems like you're very entrepreneurial. What does that look like leaving Vogue and launching what you've launched?
So one of the great things about Vogue is all of us really went on to do things in the industry. And it's a really close-knit group of people. So we all started together at some time, picking up safety pins off the floor and stuffing garment bags, packing trunks, things like that. So we all really know each other. There's always a moment where I can't believe, like, oh my God, we're the adults in the room now. This is crazy. But I was working at Vogue and, it was my job to look at all the shows, the fashion shows in New York, London, Milan, Paris, and follow really closely all the collections, what was going down the runway. I had access to the runway, to the designers, to the designer showroom. I could borrow looks, whatever I wanted. So whenever I was going to an event or a party, I would just call up the designer. I'm like, can I borrow that finale look 32 for the night? And that's just sort of how how it was back then. And I had this access to fashion that was very unique and very rare. And
Did you realize that at the time?
At first, no, I took it for granted. And then as I started making friends in New York City that were maybe outside the fashion industry, that worked in all different industries and had great jobs and worked really hard, and they resorted to, browsing a department store floor for, the best looks. And it was very apparent to me that the things going down the runway had absolutely nothing to do with what's in the store. And that you're seeing on the shop floor, sort of a watered down commercial version based on what sold the year prior. And so it was just very clear to me that there was a really big disconnect between, the clothes going down the runway and the clothes that women were actually available to buy. So this was also during the recession. So department stores were buying very safe. And then also, I don't know if you remember, but it was this time where it was just in very bad taste to be sort of shopping because so many people were suffering. And the economy was so bad. And so, a lot of stores took away their, where you're walking out in like plain paper bags and things like that, just to be considerate of the mood and the environment that we were in. So things like shopping parties and trunk shows and shopping events were really canceled across the board. And a lot of the designers, that really hurt their business. So, I was hearing from them, Lauren, can you organize something? Maybe can you invite your friends to come to the showroom to order? Because, we miss this, not only the business, but also the interaction to a certain extent, with this customer. So for me, it was just this real, wanting to connect the two. I am very much like a sharer, like whatever is the opposite of a gatekeeper. Like I am the opposite. If for me, nothing is good until it is shared. I'm just like an oversharer. If I find something good, I want to share it with everyone. Which is, I think not everyone's, impulse. I share everything. So I think that was it. And I loved the fashion industry. I loved what I did. I loved being a part of it. I thought it was just, I wished everyone could work in fashion. It's the best job. Why wouldn't you want to? So I just wanted to bring more people along for the ride and to be a part of this world and a part of the fashion community and see these clothes up front. And so the idea was to take the traditional trunk show, which is when designers would, every season, they would pack up their clothes in trunks and travel around the country or around the world with their runway collection. And women would shop it, place orders. And that's just sort of how the, very chic Upper East Side women used to shop. That's how it was done. So we just took that very simple concept and put it online. And so
what year was this that you did this?
This was like 2011.
Okay.
So we still do that. The designers have changed. Many have come and go. So we have the established designers that and love, that are going down the runway, like Bottega, Valentino, Prada, Carolina Herrera, Oscar de la Renta. And then we have, really new and up and coming brands like Coperni just showed in Disneyland with Kylie closing it. Lots of great brands out of Paris like Des Femmes and Coperni, upcoming designers like Magda Bertram, Paris, Georgia, Attico, just like really cool brands. So it spans the spectrum. And that is, that's always been my, what interests me is, working with designers, finding designers, and then helping them tell their stories, connect them with customers, and then helping women, making them love the industry and love and just getting to see the best clothes that there are, and not seeing like a watered down assortment, and having fun. And I think taking it a little less seriously and having fun with it.
How did you know how to build the infrastructure of a company and do the business side of everything you're doing? Because it sounds like you had the fashion element. Did you learn that? Did someone help you? Do you have someone on operations? What does that look like?
We are right now, we are 100 and I want to say 175 people, our business.
Wow.
It's been, a long
in
time.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have the most talented, best in class team that you could hope for. When I graduated from college and you wanted to work in fashion, the job was, I want to work at Vogue, right? That was the job. And so I wanted to create a company that when girls were graduating from college and they were like, where do I want to work? Like, I want to work at Moda. I had the other day, like a family friend came up to me. She said she really wanted, she had an offer at JP Morgan, at Goldman Sachs. Like a really clever girl. And she said, I think I want to work in fashion and skip finance. I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm like, well, there's an amazing, executive program at Estee Lauder. There's one at Chanel. These are, would love someone as smart and clever and as you, and, I can connect you. And she was like, well, thank you. That's really nice, but I just want to work at Moda. I'm like, okay, we'll take it. So I think that's probably for me, like one of the most, proud moments. And so we do it. We attract great talent.